What's happening, YouTube? Congratulations to Tim Bradley for a very good performance last night. He did what he had to do. He fought well. Give him all the credit in regards to his fight. I congratulate him for what he did. But I just wanted to point something out, because I'm not going to be one of these fair weather fans that sort of picks and chooses who they're going to support and who they're not going to support. I'm going to provide some consistency here in regards to my favorite fighter, or one of my favorite fighters of this era, Tim Bradley. Everybody should know I'm a massive Tim Bradley fan. But I want to point something out to the YTBC and to those who claim to be massive supporters of Tim. And I'm just going to point out exactly how a true fan should be with one of their very favorite fighters. And that's question certain things that they actually see that they're not quite comfortable about. And in regards to Tim Bradley, I'm going to point this out. Tim Bradley is not fighting the best competition he could and should be fighting. Tim's not fighting the best competition. Tim's a much better fighter than taking fights or having fights with the likes of Brandon Reyes and Jesse Vargas. Tim Bradley is a much better fighter than that. That level of competition is beneath him. And I'm critical of Tim because it is of Tim's own doing. And I'm going to be very critical of Tim, because Tim had an opportunity a couple of years ago, I think just before the Marquez fight or just after the Marquez fight, I can't actually remember, but there was an interview on 78 Sports TV's page. He had a brilliant interview with Tim Bradley, where Tim Bradley stated in his interview that there was no guarantees of him getting a fight with, I think, Floyd Mayweather or probably some of the welterweights. This is one of the reasons why he didn't sign with Golden Boy. When Tim's actually stated that fact, that there was no guarantees, that really set alarm bells in my head, because I was desperate for Tim to actually fight Floyd, or fight at least some of the best welterweights who were at the time being signed to Golden Boy. And Tim should have been at least taking those challenges. And to be honest with you, Tim, with all due respect, the only fights he's taken, or the only fighters of welterweight he's taken of any sort of class, is Pacquiao and Marquez, and that's about it. Tim has not been challenging himself to fight the very best welterweights, currently, his peers. He hasn't been doing it, and I'm sorry, as a fan, and I'm a massive fan of his, I can't give him a pass for that, I'm afraid. If I'm going to be consistent, or we're going to have the standard of consistency in the YTBC, this is exactly how a true fan of a fighter should be querying and really having a discussion about this. So I'm not giving Tim Bradley no passes for fighting and knocking out Brandon Reyes. Brandon Reyes is beneath him in terms of the level of competition that Tim Bradley should be fighting. So I give him his credit, obviously, as a fighter, to get in that ring and doing his business. I give him full credit, but I don't give him a credit for beating Brandon Reyes, because Brandon Reyes ain't shit, and he does nothing for Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley is a better fighter than that. So I'm sorry, Tim. As a fan of yours, I'm not giving you the ultimate credit for beating Brandon Reyes, because Brandon Reyes ain't shit compared to who you are. You are a better fighter than that. Anyways, peace.